Hello and welcome to some civility on the edge. So we've got something a little more civilized for a change on the channel, and what we're looking at here is the CIVIVI Rustic Gent as a moth flies past the front of the camera. Another little visitor in the room. So a little bit something different for a change, something a bit different for a change. As I say, this is a lockback, actually the first lockback that we're having here on the edge. And very much the gentleman's folder type knife. So let's open the two of them. Got brothers or sisters, twins almost. Just to show two different styles of the knife. There are a few other options, and we'll speak about those a little bit later, but just to show you two of the sort of dramatic differences that you get in the range of these knives. And to mark the occasion, I've gone with a little bit, something a little more dressy as well, just to try and act a little civilized for the occasion. So there it is. Might as well dress up for the knife. So let's have a look at the materials. So we're looking, and I'll sort of speak about both of them as we go through it. So on the top knife, and you can probably make that out already, we've got a Damascus blade, a hollow grind blade and clip point. Might as well speak about that as well as we're looking at the two knives. And this has what they call a brown matrix micarta. And then we've got the carbon fiber bolster. They both have carbon fiber bolsters. And then a stainless steel liner. And then if we have a look on the inside there, you might just see a little bit of that gold color shining through there, and that's the bronze washer. And then we have Torx, stainless steel Torx hardware all around the knife. And we've got the CIVIVI logo as a pivot cap on that side. So this guy then has the D2 blade steel, so that satin finish D2 blade steel. Also hollow grind, the same thing, a clip point, and this got a G10 scale with the carbon fiber bolster, and then it's the same thing, the stainless steel liner and the bronze washer in the back there. So let's have a little closer, and really nicely styled knife, that really classic gentleman's folder look about it, and with the lockback. Nice smooth action on this, by the way. You know, it is on the bronze washers, but a really, really nice smooth action. And in fact, to open the knife, you've got the almost, although a little bit longer, you know, this almost comes across like a fuller, but it's like that traditional nail nick to open the knife, the way that you know, grandpa's knife used to open. But the action on this is so smooth that you can actually do the one-hand deployment on it. I just would be very cautious in a one-hand, and here's the moth again visiting. I would be very cautious about what I'm doing at the moment, you know, the one-hand closing of it. So it will close to that point and stop. But beyond this, this knife does close with some force. So you don't want your fingers anywhere around that area, because the blade is incredibly sharp, but you don't want your finger anywhere in front of that blade. When it gets past that kind of little tipping point, you can see it really slams shut. But, you know, again, going back to the design of the knife, really good looking. These classic lines, discrete size. And by the way, the finish on this knife is really good. Where the micarta joins the carbon fiber bolster, that is smooth and almost seamless to the touch. It almost gives you the impression of a custom knife. And it really, really is handsome. And maybe it's just because for a change you're getting this style of knife. Let's get that guy a little bit out the way so you can see him in the back. This style of knife, but it really is appealing in that very classic way. So if you are looking for a gentleman's folder, something that you can wear to the office, this should be a very good candidate. All around the finish, around the back there, everything is very, very smooth, lined up, no rough edges, just beautifully, beautifully done. And you can see a little novel way of doing a lanyard hole cut in, but so that it is completely integrated in the design, but through that you can feed a lanyard with a little bit of difficulty, but you should be able to get it through there. And if you're having trouble, you can always remove the scales, of course. But I think that's just such a tidy way, a way of doing a lanyard hole without disturbing these graceful, I think that's a good description, graceful lines of this knife. So let's lay the two out there, and unfortunately those satin blades really show up your fingerprints really quickly, and I don't want anybody stealing my fingerprints, so let's do that. So there's no security compromised. And so let's speak a little bit about some of the options. So we've also got a version with black micarta. So all of them, by the way, all the options have the carbon fiber bolsters. So, the change comes in the blade steel and in the scale at the back, the balance of the scale. So you get one with a black micarta, with a tan micarta, green micarta, dark brown micarta, and those are all in the satin D2 steel blade. Did I mention that? That is D2. I think I did. D2 steel blade are all those options. And then in the Damascus blade knife, you get black G10 and the brown matrix micarta that you see. So in the Damascus bladed knife, you just get two options for the handle. Right, so we've spoken a little bit about the design and all that sort of thing, and what I've completely forgotten to do is speak about the dimensions of the knife. So, and the dimensions are the same across all the knives. So let's just move him a little bit higher and we'll speak around the Damascus version. So the blade length, we've got 75.45 millimeters or 2.97 inches. So nice small dimensions on that blade. Thickness, 2.5 millimeters, 0.1 inch. So also a nice slender blade. You've got a little bit of a swedge around that clip point shape. And then, so what did I say there? 2.5 mils and 0.1 inches. Handle thickness, we've got 11.3 millimeters or 0.44 inches. And then close length or handle length, and make sure I get my fingers out the way. I don't want to put on that kind of show for you. Closed length is 97.54 millimeters or 3.84 inches. And then overall length is 172.99 millimeters. That's 6.81 inches. Now what I haven't done is weigh these two guys. So let's just get them closed and out the way in the corner. I'm so wary of my finger. Just not used to dealing with a lockback knife anymore. So you get into some bad habits, not expecting the blade to slam shut under spring tension. Let's get that on and switch that on. And then let's have a look. So we've got it on ounces first. Let's have a look at the difference between the two. So that is the D2 version. 2.7 ounces, and then let's look at the other one, 2.6. Okay, so the G10 D2 version, slightly heavier than the micarta Damascus version. That's surprising. I would have thought that it was going to be the other way around. Interesting. So let's have a look at that in grams. So 73 grams for the micarta Damascus. And now that's very odd. 73. Oh, yeah. Oh, that is how it worked. Yeah, quite right. I'm losing my mind. And 77 for the G10. D2 steel version. Okay, so a little bit of a difference between the two knives is to be expected with the different materials used. Now go back to the action on this, and maybe again it's for me the novelty value of having a lock back again. I haven't had a lock back knife in my hands for a very, very long time, not a new one anyway. And again, this action is so smooth, and listen to that click as it opens. That is really nice. That is very satisfying. That's that's got fidget factor to it. So let's see, on the one-handed opening. Oh, that is very, very nice. So the only thing I would be cautious about is closing it, getting the fingers out the way. But man, that is smooth, and that sound is really good. Let's listen to this one, see if it gives you the same. Yeah, oh, that's nice. Right, so let's put that down there. So guys, yeah, I really like this, something a little different again, and something a little bit old school. I suppose nothing wrong with a bit of old school. Old school, they say, sometimes is the best school. But a really handsome knife, very well made. I've looked at it closely, and I'm so impressed with the finish on this. And you know, this, well, I suppose we should expect it. It is CIVIVI, and we know that CIVIVI is a sub-brand of WE. It is their sort of more budget range, but they don't step back from a quality of finish from WE. You know, it's quite often just the materials that are different. You know, here again, D2, and that's a Damascus. So they don't state that it is a Damas steel blade. So I'm not sure what Damascus it is. But, you know, certainly from a look perspective and a feel perspective and the impression that it gives to you in hand, it is a really nice quality product and a really nice gentleman's folder. You know, what do I really compare the size to? I should have scratched a few other knives out that are maybe closer to compare with, but you know, here is the Benchmade Mini Barrage. So you can see very similar size to the Benchmade Mini Barrage, give you a sense of scale. And then the other one I suppose that I can use is still a knife that I keep saying that I'm going to review and I still haven't reviewed, and that is this Kaiser, which it's a knife that I really like and have EDC'd quite a bit as well. It's the Apis, but that is just a more modern take on the gentleman's folder. But you can see the dimensions are very, very similar, and you can see the intended purpose of the knife is very much the same. This one just with that front flipper. So yeah, an altogether more modern type of knife by design. I mean, these are retro by design as well, but you know, a very similar type of knife. This considerably heavier. It is a chunkier blade, and you've got that slab of copper on either side. Again, well, I promise, do a review of this knife. I really do like this knife. I've EDC'd it quite a bit on certain occasions. You use it for certain occasions. So there is something, as I was looking at that, just reminded me, and you've probably picked that up already, that there is no pocket clip on this. So again, it is being very, what's the word? Being very genuine. It is being very true to old style knife. You know, without the pocket clip. You know, the grandpa style knife was just thrown into the pocket. But what they do give with it that is really nice is this little leather pouch. So you can see CIVIVI branded, and a thickish leather, feels decent enough quality, and that has a pocket clip on it. So you can just slip that into your pocket, and then that keeps the knife out of the way of loose change and rattling around a bit and maybe getting scratched up or getting tangled up in anything else. But so that knife just will sit inside that little pocket protector, I suppose, but a cooler pocket protector. Just don't go put it in your top pocket. So, but nice that they actually gave that. You know, it just shows you that this whole thing was really well thought through, which one appreciates. So, you know, you can see the thought behind it. Create an old style knife, make it genuine and honest and true to an old style knife, and then but give the customer a way to carry the knife around, a stylish way of doing it. So you know, you can picture that in the top of a suit pocket with your knife in there. Very nicely done. Good job, CIVIVI. Guys, got a little bit of the leather lying there. So guys, I think that is, again, pretty much it. That's what I have for you. Again, I'm really impressed with this product. It is a beautifully made, nicely designed, classically styled knife. Really enjoyed having this and fiddling with them. It is a really nice fidget toy. Just keep your fingers out of the way when that blade closes. Guys, I think that is pretty much all I've got for you. Have a quick glance at my notes and make sure that I haven't covered everything. So again, I have to thank Blades and Triggers for their support. So they've supplied these knives to me to have a look over and fiddle around with them for a few days, form an opinion. So from Blades and Triggers in South Africa, the Damascus version of the knife goes for 2,650, and I think that's really reasonable. And the D2 for 1,995 Rand. And I'm going to say it again, chat to the guys. They are willing to negotiate. They are willing to make you happy, to keep you a regular customer. So that's in terms of price in South Africa. And then if you're interested in the international price, the dollar price, online, saw these guys at Blade HQ, and the price varies between US dollar 76.50 and 99.45. So the price ranging with the finishes, the most expensive version obviously being the Damascus bladed one. Right. So now I think I have gone through everything, and now I think I can let you go. Thank you once again. Really appreciate you popping in. And again, please subscribe and hit the bell icon. I would love you to visit more regularly. You go well, and God bless.